Hey y'all, this is Joe out here at the cabin at St. Bernard Acres. This video I'm going to show you, I updated a couple things on my power board here. I think I finally got it the way I want it, I hope. I hope I'm done with this part of it. But I'm going to show you a couple things that I added to it. And then a lot of people have been asking about the cost. So I'm going to try to go buy these items. I bought most of them at Amazon. I'm going to go through my phone, each item, and tell you how much I paid for it. And, you know, I mean, some things you might find a little bit cheaper on eBay or through somewhere else. I don't know. I liked Amazon because I bought wrong stuff as I was getting all this together, and I was able to return it with no questions asked. So that's one of the reasons why I went with them. And I'll break down all those prices for you. My purpose for coming out here today originally was to run the wires from the solar panel over through the window and hook it up just to finish testing everything and get things rolling on that end of it. And I think I showed you, I bought a 100-foot roll of cable of number 6 to run from the solar panels back. And because I measured it out when I was laying out how I was going to do all this, and evidently when I built that frame, that rack for my panels, I didn't exactly put it where I had measured from. So instead of needing 2 pieces of cable, you know, 50 feet long, I need 2 pieces about 65 feet long. And you know, I built the stuff in the wrong spot. I didn't measure probably, I don't know. But either way, I'm going to order another roll of that stuff. And let me tell you, that stuff, just that one roll of 100 foot was $62. Now I've got to order another roll of that for $62. So, you know, it happens. It's part of learning this and trying to get all this together and, you know, trying to do it budget friendly. But, oh my. Okay, let me show you what I did this morning, or did out here this morning. I added a bus bar for all the positive lines. I thought about not using a bus bar for the positives, but I changed my mind. I had it. I had to hook up the step down converter, all that stuff to it, so I went ahead and put in a bus bar. And I'm glad I did because it looks cool. And like I said, I bought a positive and a negative. May as well use the damn thing. Something else I added today is that meter right there. No power, so I can't show you what it does, but that's a volt and amp meter that I can look at. It will tell me anytime I look, you know, want to know what my voltage is, what my amps are, how many watts are being used this system at any time. You know, good information to have anytime I want to look at it, especially when I'm out here testing the capabilities of this system. And you see that's wired in. I mean, the red line is the DC power coming in, and then it's all wired into the shunt. 3 wires. That tells me how much is passing through there. So I put that on. I also, sorry about the camera, but it is what it is. I added this 12 volt DC fuse block. Just like what you have in your car, you know, that kind of thing. All of my DC lighting in the house is going to be wired through this. I could have 6 different circuits, and there'll be a fuse in each circuit. I'm going to put some switches over by the door to where when we walk in, if it's nighttime, I can flip on lights in the cabin. Because I think I will be able to leave this, you know, 12 volt stuff on, not worry about anything. But we'll see. That had to be wired into the 24 volt to 12 volt step down converter. because my battery bank is 24 volt, I had to get that pile converter. None of these things that I'm going to go over, am I endorsing or not endorsing? I don't know. Nobody's sponsoring this. I'm just showing you what I bought and telling you what it cost me. That's all I'm going to be doing. But you can see that converter is wired into the battery bank. So it's going to get its 24 volt DC, converted to 12 volt, sends it up to the fuse block. But that, I think I pretty much have everything I need now on this power board. I think it's complete. And I'm hoping it is, because I don't want to do it anymore. But I think that's everything that needs. So now, let's go through the costs that I've incurred so far. And what I'm going to be doing, I'm going to go from item to item. And I've got to look it up on my phone, so you'll see a lot of jump cuts coming up. There's no point in, the camera rolling while I'm looking up prices. But the first item is the, let me get on it. This tripod sucks. The MPPT charge controller. It's an FEver 60 amp. So it will handle all my panels that I need. Is it better than the Outback that I was going to get? No, but it's cheaper. I saved a couple $100 by sending that Outback back and buying this one. And this has good reviews. I don't think, I'm going to really regret having done that. I can't afford Midnight Classic or any of that kind of stuff. So this is one of the things I ask you guys who watch this video. Don't leave comments about how, oh, that's a piece of shit, you should have gone with this. I went with what I can afford. And, again, I have flooded lead acid batteries from Walmart. Oh, you gotta have AGM, you gotta have lithium. I can't buy that, so don't be telling me that anymore. I know what I want, but I also know what I can afford and what I can get by with. Maybe I can later on afford to change these out, hopefully. But we'll see. I don't care. This is all working for me. So anyway, the price on that was $278.82 for that charge controller. I like it. The next big item is my 2000 watt inverter. And no, it's not a pure sine wave inverter. And again, I'm not going to be, I would love to have pure sine wave, but I can't afford it. And I don't think it's going to matter too much, because what I'm going to use it for is going to go into my service panel and run all the circuits in my house. So I don't think I have to have a pure sine wave for that. It's going to send 15 amps to my service panel, and that'll take care of my plugs and my receptacles and stuff. I'm not going to be plugging TVs or refrigerators or laptops directly into that inverter. So I might be okay with not having pure sine wave. But the cost of that, let me find it here, was, you order details, $179.96. That's how much that inverter cost. And bought it at the same time, so I may as well show it because it's on the same invoice. That step down converter for my 12 volt power, that was $40.12. So we're up to over $500 already for those three items. Let's see what else I can tell you about, because those were the big things. I don't have this in front of me. I would have to look it up. I bought it from Alt E store. That Midnight Solar, Midnight Solar box, and all three of those breakers was a little over $100. Just what it is. And I've got a 100 amp breaker, a 20 amp, and a 30 amp. And I think what I've got to do, I'm not going to use the 20 amp. Well, yeah, I'll use it going to the battery bank, I think. That's how I got that. No, the 100 amp goes to the battery bank. But I think I have to get rid of the 20 and the 30 and buy a 50 for my solar panels. I think I screwed up and did that wrong. But as I get into it, we'll see. That was a little over $100. Let's see. Those bus bars. Those were... Let me find them. Because they definitely come in handy. It's a good thing to have. The bus bars, the red and the black. View order details. $39.99. So $40 for those. Let's continue on. That button, that power button to isolate my batteries. Let's see where that is. La 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 la. It wasn't a lot. A lot of this stuff wasn't a lot, but it really adds up. There's my battery disconnect switch. That was $21.58. Let's go to the 100 amp A&L fuse there. Windy Nation. La 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 la. View order details. That was $14.72 for that fuse. I mean, I bought 10 feet of red and black 8 AWG wire to wire some of this board, and with the little eyelets and stuff, just 10 feet was $28.82. I just happened to see that on my Amazon, so I thought I'd mention that. Okay. Let's see what else I bought that I'm using on here. Okay. Those, the things I make my cables out of, my battery cables out of, the lugs and the shrink wrap thing. One pack of, well, that's the 10 gauge. Because I bought a pack of 10 gauge for my 10 gauge wire, my 10 AWG wire. That was $8 to make 4 wires, basically. Let's see, what were they for the big wire, the 1 gauge? I just bought another pack. Okay, 1 gauge. 4 pack. I can make 4 wires, and those things, $10 to make 4 wires. And I made 1, 2, 3, 4, well, all the battery cables, you know, I've got 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, about 14 1 gauge cables. And I could only get 4 wires per pack, so do the math. Let's see what else. That meter, my volt and amp meter, was, that's what I'm on, the camera's on now, was $20, $18.99. So yeah, there's the big stuff. 200, 500, 600 some, 650, 700. There's probably, with the wire and everything, there's probably $1,000 there on that board. If you count all of the wiring on that board plus all of the wiring on that battery bank. I would venture to say there's around $1,000 there. Between 900 and 1,000 for sure. So that's what my system's going to cost. And the batteries from Walmart are $600. They're $100 a piece for those Everstart Max deep cycle batteries. So I would venture to say inside the house here has cost me $1,500, which is more than I thought it was. I hate now that I'm adding it up. I feel bad because it's more than what I thought I had spent over time. But yeah, it's not the cheapest thing in the world, you know, and I could have bought cheaper stuff. I mean, you know, you can get a cheap, cheap Chinese, solar, charge controller, 60 amp charge controller, PWM for $40. I wanted MPPT, and I wanted something I hope I can upgrade the system to. The cheap $40 one I'll use in the barn. But that's it. That's this system in a nutshell. $1,500 sitting here in the house, and I bought the used panels. They gave me some for the video I did, so I can't, I'm not going to tell you how much it all cost me because they worked a deal with me. But I know you can get those panels used at Santan for around $40 or $45 a piece. I got 10 of them. That gives me 2,500 watts of solar. And, another couple $100 for $150, $200 for shipping. So, I really think you could put this whole thing together. This is going to come in at less than $2,000, or right around $2,000 for this system. And again, that's what I can afford. I can't afford any more. I would love to have more, but I don't have anybody sending me stuff. I'm not going to set up a GoFundMe thing so I can get more solar power for my cabin. This, in reality, is more than what I need. To run this little cabin, this is way overboard. I could have done this cabin for way less. But I'm thinking in the future, and if we move out here permanently, and I also want to make sure I have enough that I can run a refrigerator full time. And I have enough solar power in my panels. I've got enough power coming in that I can run my air conditioner during the day. I can do all that kind of stuff without using up anything out of the batteries. So that was one of the reasons for, going more higher dollar. To run lights in a cabin and charge some stuff, I could use one battery. The two 100-watt solar panels I bought 8 years ago, and the $100 worth of parts, and I could have a simple system in a cabin. But I'm thinking future and I'm thinking growth, so that's why I went with all this stuff. But anyway, there's my cost. I gotta go home now and order another damn spool of wire. So, just the wire. I bet you I've got, well, that's gonna be $120 just to go from the solar panels to the charge controller. That's not counting the combiner box I'm going to make to wire it all up with, all of the MC4 connectors that everything's going to connect with, the conduit to run it underground and pull it up. I mean, I'm probably going to be looking at, I don't know, $250, $300 just to get the power from the solar panels to the cabin. So again, it's not uber expensive, but it's not cheap either. And maybe in your world that's cheap. $2,300 is cheap. I don't know. To me. But, you know, $100 a month electric bill. Let's say I averaged $100 a month for running my air conditioner and stuff. So in 2 years, I've paid for it. Not to mention the $4,000 I would have to pay to have them bring the electric to me. So, this actually, if it all works good, is cool. This is a good way to do it. And if all the crap hits the fan like it looks like it's going to, and we're going to have a problem period here, you know, I'll be ready for it. I'll still have power as long as I'm out here. But if you got any questions, again, ask. I'll try to answer everything I can. If you got suggestions, please make them. I am open to suggestions. I'm open to, hey, you did this wrong, or hey, it's more, you know, it's better if you do it this way, blah, 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 whatever. I have broad shoulders. I don't cry. So, tell me, I'm big for any advice or suggestions you got. But I hope you enjoyed this. I hope it was informative enough, and it gives you a better understanding of what I'm doing and why, and the budget that I'm working with to make this happen. Again, please like this video, share it. Share it on your social media. That helps. You know, I'm to the point. You know, it's another video, but I may be moving out here in the next couple of weeks, and I may be living here, which means I won't be working anymore at you know, where I work at part time. So I'm going to be depending on my Social Security and my YouTube money if it starts growing. Right now, it ain't much to depend on. But yeah, I think, you know, that if I live out here, I can make more videos. I have more time to do better videos and do more things around here and turn this into a homestead like I wanted to. But some things are happening at home, and, you know, I might be coming out here. But like I said, that's another video for another time. I'm going to close this one out. It's been a blast. And like I said, share it. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. Ding that bell so you know when I put more videos up. You know the routine. But this is Joe out here at the cabin at St. Bernard Acres, practicing my self-isolation. Hope everybody's healthy. You know, be careful out there. It's a crazy world. But I will talk to y'all later. I'm out.